Good morning. Lauren from the future here. I already recorded some things yesterday and I never really did a proper introduction, so this is from the next day, but I'm going to insert it first. Just wanted to say hi and give you a little bit of an idea of who I am and what is going on. My name is Lauren. I am a blogger. I've never done video vlogging. I've just done short form videos for Instagram and YouTube. But I find that a lot of the stuff that I record I'm really having to cut a lot of stuff out in order to fit it into that 90-second window for Instagram in order to get music on it if I want music. And so I've kind of been toying with the idea of just going to YouTube and doing the longer videos, and I finally decided to do it. So here I am, and I'm starting this whole thing out with putting up a Christmas tree on Halloween. We haven't had any plans for Halloween this year, and so it hasn't felt like much of a holiday. And I usually don't do Christmas until the weekend after Thanksgiving, but for whatever reason this year, I saw an episode of a show that was a Christmas episode a few weeks ago, and it's had me in the mood ever since. So I'm just impatient for it this year, and I'm getting it going. So this vlog is going to be decorating the tree. I'm going to bake some vegan pumpkin bread and just give you a little bit of an introduction to me and who I am. So as I said, I'm a blogger, but I do two different blogs. I have one that is nutrition based. I am a holistic nutritionist. I am primarily plant-based. I'll have meat about once a week, dairy even less, maybe once a month. So, 95% of the time, I would say I am whole food plant-based. In addition to that, I'm kind of a bibliophile. I read a lot. I collect classic literature. I've been building a classic literature library, so I'm sure I'll share a lot of things about books and reading and things like that on here. I'm a gardener. This time of year, gardening is very much running thin. We had a freeze last night, and so I'm trying to kind of hang on to some of my plants. I do have a greenhouse with a heater in it, and my fall crop of green beans, I haven't gotten a lot off of them yet, so I covered them last night to try to keep them from freezing. I don't know yet if that worked. I'm still waiting for it to warm up past 32 degrees so that I can go out and give it a check. So really that's in a nutshell, books, plant-based nutrition and gardening, and then a smattering of just home living, lifestyle, yoga, things like that. My grandma passed away a couple months ago, back in July, and there's just been a lot of kind of life learning that's been happening since then. After sorting through all of her things, I realized how much stuff she had. And so I'm trying to be more intentional now with my own home, my own purchasing habits and things like that. And I really want to build a home that is a capsule home, kind of like a capsule wardrobe, where I'm only getting things that are meaningful and, good quality, where I can have them for a long time, and they're not trendy. So they're kind of timeless and classic, and they're not going to go out of date. And that way I'm not constantly cycling through things and then donating stuff and adding to landfills and things like that. That is another kind of journey that I'm on at the moment. So you may hear a little bit about that. But in a nutshell, that's me, and welcome, and let's get this day started.
Santa, I've been good this year. Make your list and check it twice. I'll leave you a note right here underneath the Christmas lights. Carols and bells, none of them help. I still feel blue. I just wanna fall in love this Christmas.
There it is, for now. I definitely need to shape it, decorate it, fix this end down here, but it's up. So, got a new tree. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap on the lights. I'm still waiting on another one. This one behind me is a 6-foot tree. I ordered also a 7.5, and I just put it together and it sucked. And I have a 6.5 foot still coming. and it's a pre-lit, which is nice, but in looking at the pictures, I think it's gonna be a lot like the 7.5 foot one that I didn't like. So more than likely, I'm gonna be keeping this one, even though it's a little shorter than I wanted. It's a 6 foot, I wanted a 6.5 to 7. But this one's just, it's really nice. Let me show you the branches. So it's one of the real look trees, and at the end of these branches, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 little ends. And the other trees, the one that I just tried that I'm returning, and then the one that I'm still waiting on that's gonna be here tomorrow, they just have one of those little plasticky ends, and it just, you can see all of the cheaper stuff in the center, and I didn't like it. So I think even though it's a little shorter than I prefer, it is actually small enough also that it doesn't look bad in my living room, which is really the main concern that I had, and it's why I got rid of my big bushy tree after getting new furniture, because nothing would have fit well in here with that giant tree. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping the lights on it, and tomorrow start decorating. First things first, let's test these bad boys and see if they work. And it looks like only half of the strand is lit up, so time to toss it. Or maybe we can replace a fuse. Take 2. Let's see. And once again, half of the strand does not light up. So it's a swing and a miss on this one too. Last one in this bin, let's see if it works. And you know what? I believe we also have a half a strand out on this one. So I'm either going to have to buy some new fuses or buy some new lights. Quick Walmart run for some new lights, and let's try this again. Ooh. That says warm white. It sure doesn't look warm to me. Let's try this one. If that's warm, I'd hate to see what cool looks like. This does not look warm to me. It looks very white, and I don't know if I like it. But I also, excuse you, I really don't want to run back to the store again though. So I guess we're just gonna make these work. I think we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. In the meantime, I'm going to pop you on a time lapse and set to work.
Santa, I've been good this year. Make your list and check it twice. I'll leave you a note right here underneath the Christmas lights. Carols and bells, none of them help. I still feel blue. I just wanna fall in love this Christmas.
Good morning, my girl. Are you ready for your breakfast? Yes? Okay. Good morning, my Rosie.
The timer works. The tree came on at 6 a.m. So I'm gonna start with making a flax egg, which is ground flaxseed and water. Give it a little stir, and then we're gonna set it aside so it can thicken up. So in our bowl, we're gonna put the pumpkin, and then sugar, oil, which in this case I'm using applesauce, the flax egg, and the milk. So it calls for brown sugar, but I want to use a organic pure cane sugar that has not been refined. And instead of a cup and a quarter, I'm going to use a cup. And see how it's not quite bright white? That's because it's not been refined. So we're gonna add that. And then what I wanna do to kind of help make up for the lack of the brown sugar flavor is to go ahead and throw in a quarter cup of maple syrup to help make up that difference. And then I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the applesauce, which I am using in place of oil. So with the applesauce instead of the oil, it is going to have just a slightly denser texture, but it's going to be significantly healthier and much less fat. Let's see if I can't get the last of this little bit out of here. Okay. And then a quarter cup of the milk, which the recipe says soy milk. I am opting to use almond. I've never had soy here. I always use almond and oat depending on what I'm making. So there's that. Now we're ready for the flax egg. I doubt that it has set up long enough yet. I guess we're gonna go ahead and add the flax egg. Okay, so now let's add our dry ingredients. We'll start with our flour. It calls, of course, for all-purpose, but I, as usual, am opting for whole wheat. Rather than all-purpose flour, I am going to use a whole wheat. My goal, even though this does have plenty of sugar, my goal is to make this as guilt-free as I possibly can. There's 1 and then 3/4. So let's fill it. There we go. And then I need a teaspoon of baking soda. And it says to just drop this right on top of the flour. A 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Two teaspoons of cinnamon. And then a 1/4 teaspoon each of nutmeg. And cloves, but I don't like cloves, so I'm actually just going to use ginger instead. And then gently blend until just combined. Gonna get it pretty well incorporated, and then I'm going to add some chocolate chips, which is not in the recipe, but I cannot have pumpkin bread without chocolate chips. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold those in. Not measuring, I'm just kind of dumping in whatever looks right. And then finish combining the batter. Now the recipe says to grease a loaf pan, but since I am oil-free, I prefer parchment paper. We're gonna go ahead and get that squared away in here. Pour our batter in. Spread it out as evenly as I can get it. And then for the top, I'm going to sprinkle on some pepitas. It's all set and ready for the oven. Bake for an hour and 15 minutes, so we're gonna have plenty of time to work on that tree. Alexa, set a timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
1 hour and 15 minutes.
All right, gonna get cleaned up, and then we're gonna move on to the tree. All right, Christmas decorations are upstairs, or at least the ones for the tree. Y'all probably think I am completely crazy because it's Halloween and I am decorating a Christmas tree. But it is also about 27 degrees outside, I think, right now where I'm at, and I have zero plans for Halloween. So I'm saying, why not? Gonna do whatever makes your heart happy, right? So let's do this. I have 2 sets of Christmas tree decorations. One is a lot of newer stuff that I've bought over the last few years. This one is a set of ornaments that were my grandma's, and she had these on a tree when I was growing up in the early 90s, and they're all pink and gold and pearl and sparkly and really pretty. So this is the bulk of what I put on my tree, and then the new ornaments that I've bought kind of just help fill in some gaps. But the tree I had last year was a 7.5 foot, and it was big. It was big around, it was full, and so it really took a lot to fill it up and make it look good. And this tree, as you can see, is a lot more natural looking tree, and I should be able to actually hang ornaments instead of stuffing them in, and so it's not going to need nearly as much. So I'm going to start with these vintage decorations and see how far they get me. I will have to piece in a little bit of the newer stuff because I add burgundy in with all the pink, and all of this is just like pink and white. Hi, Miss Emily. She's going to try to drink my matcha latte now, aren't you? Say hello. All right, so let's get this started. First thing I'm going to start with is this pearl garland, and to be honest, with the old tree that I had, the 7.5 foot one, this was not enough, and so I had to kind of just strategically drape it only across the front of the tree. And I'm wondering if this one I might actually be able to go all the way around. So I don't know if I even want to for sure, because the back of this tree is up against a wall, so you're not going to see it, but figure it out as we go.
Can I have these now? Hey, don't break it. Don't break it.
Start on the vintage ornaments now. Pink glass, I'll have to be careful with these because of Emily. I love this. pumpkin bread is done. The timer's going off, so let's go check it out. Whew. All right, now we have to let it cool for about 10 to 15 minutes. Hi, babies. What you need, my love? What is that? It's hot. Still pretty warm, so I may just let it sit and cool a few minutes more before I dig in. So I still have to do the bow for the top and get the ribbon wound through, but I'm gonna pause from doing this for now so I can get the pumpkin bread all cut up. But there she is. Feels cold enough to cut, so let's try it out. Pretty good. It was definitely very dense from the applesauce. It's good and moist. The chocolate chips give that perfect little extra touch. Rosie thinks it smells good too. Don't you, Bubs? You want some? You won't eat it. You never do. Hi, Rosie. See, I think it smells delicious, but Mommy gave me some and I'm not gonna eat it. It's finally above freezing outside, so I'm gonna run out there and pull all the blankets off of the green bean patch, and then I need to water the tomatoes inside the greenhouse and my mom on the front porch. I still have some hanging baskets up, but I think after last night's freeze, the impatiens are gonna die, so I'm not worried about watering those, just gonna worry about the mums and the tomatoes in the greenhouse. So let's go take care of that. So the green beans actually look pretty good. I have one right there that's kind of dying, but the rest still look solid, so I think we're safe. Haven't checked the greens. It takes a lot for the greens to die, so just having plastic over them to keep the frost off was enough there. It'll have to get down into like the teens for these to really do poorly with cold. Let's take a look in the greenhouse. Oh yes, still nice and toasty in here, at least compared to outside. You can see that is the temperature in the greenhouse. It dropped, I think, about 49 degrees was the coldest it got. Tomatoes, especially seedlings, which I've got some here. These are little like dwarf tomato plants that I'm hoping, because I can bring these in and put them under a grow light if I need to, so I'm hoping to have some tomatoes over winter. But definitely seedlings don't like it below 50, but tomatoes in general, they really prefer between 50 and about 85 degrees. So we're hoping to keep these going as long as possible. They did not do very well in here over the summer. It got too hot for them, but I mean, now you can see they're finally just loaded in green tomatoes now that it has cooled off and it's not cooking in here every day anymore. So we're keeping the heater going to help them out overnight, and then during the day with the sun shining in, it's not too bad. And then this is another little container of lettuces, which I did this way so that if I need to, I can bring these indoors as well and put under a grow light. I don't know how well they will do, but I'm curious. This is an experiment. So at any rate, I'm gonna get to watering.